I'm not going to be looking at the comments right now until we're done. But if you're watching us live or the replay, maybe put hi in the comments and let us know where you are watching from. We are really excited to share with you.
I'll try to pull up the comments and see what happens. I don't know. We'll wing it, right?
Okay, yeah, like I'm watching the live on my page, which I do not want to do while we're
Oh,
doing this. So just keep in mind there are going to be some amazing takeaways. So stay till the end, takeaways that are free for you to do. I want to introduce myself and then Bobby will introduce herself. My name is Heather Sunderland. I am a board certified functional health coach from Health Coaching by Heather. And Bobby and I are co founders of Navigating Mold and SIRS Expert Insights for Practitioners course. I'll let Bobby introduce herself.
I'm Bobby McGrath, and I have a private health coaching business called Be For You Health Coaching. And I am a partner with Heather in navigating mold and SIRS. And we have launched a course recently, and we're really excited. And we decided we were going to do some lives just to educate and to bring more knowledge to the world. So we're glad that you're here and excited that we can help you today.
Yeah, and just we both specialize in helping people recover from complex conditions like mold toxicity, Lyme, and SIRS. And we both have recovered from all of those conditions ourselves and walked through that. But
Yep.
we wanted to share with you why we're doing this work.
Yes. And so Heather and I both have long stories. Heather's story, she is a warrior and a long journey through her health condition. Mine isn't as long, but we bonded over the fact that we both have had mold toxicity and have recovered from chronic inflammatory response syndrome and Lyme and things like that. And my why, which is very, very similar to Heather's, is that because of the fact that mold is mysterious and elusive, and so is Lyme and a lot of other conditions, we wanted to bring to the forefront and the awareness of Lyme and mold and SIRS and what that toxicity looks like, and educate practitioners, especially about being able to identify it and just kind of avoid the suffering, long suffering that a lot of people go through when they have these types of conditions because it's just not well educated in the conventional medical model. And so that's why we created Navigating Mold and SIRS to help practitioners, but to also bring hope and to support clients and bring that awareness to them. Like, have you ever thought about the fact that the environmental toxins you've experienced throughout your life could be impacting your health? So our mission is to serve and to also educate.
Thanks, Bobby. And yeah, our mission, of course, aligns. My big desire is to give people hope. I was sick 28 years. And so if I can get better, I want to give people hope that if I can do it, you can do it. And we really do want to decrease the suffering. We see a lot of things get missed when people are working on Lyme, mold, and SIRS. And today we're going to talk about one of those things that we see get missed all the time. And I'm going to let Bobby share what
Yeah.
we're talking about.
It's one of my favorite topics, which is the nervous system, because I would say that I have a nervous system weakness that I've been working on for quite a while, and it was very well revealed when I was impacted by mold. It really impacted me quite a lot, and we just want to really, in the beginning, explain the nervous system. It's really the master planner in your body. It's involved. You would imagine you would know that you've got a brain and a spinal cord, but there's nerves throughout your entire body. And the peripheral nervous system goes out from the central nervous system, which is your brain and your spinal cord. And it's basically helping people know it's a message sender. So it sends messages out, but it also receives messages and sends it back. And so today we want to explain to you how toxicity, how trauma, how your lifestyle will impact your healing journey. And if it's not on your radar and you're not also incorporating some type of nervous system support and regulation and being aware, tuned into your body, which is one of the things that both Heather and I really push hard for our clients, is you got to tune into your body. And so today we're going to explain to you what that looks like when you're not tuned in and when your body's talking to you and what how that impacts you. And then we'll also give you practical tools to walk away with to help you.
Thanks, Bobby. So again, our nervous system is negatively impacted by trauma, by toxins, by mold, by pathogens like Lyme and other parasites and pathogens. So it's just the important starting place on anybody's journey. So, how do you know if your nervous system is dysregulated? We're going to go over some signs and symptoms. We're not going over all of them, but if you have interest in getting more information on signs and symptoms of nervous system dysregulation, put the word info in the comments and we will private message you, get your email, and email you a PDF we've created. That's basically a nervous system checklist, and you can rank yourself and even check yourself through the process of your healing journey to see if your symptoms are decreasing. So one of the big symptoms can be this chronic feeling of stress or feeling on edge, trouble relaxing or shutting off your thoughts, insomnia or restless sleep, rapid heart rate or palpitations. And those are all symptoms that I had when my nervous system was dysregulated.
Mine too. You can check the boxes on all of those. And they can be pretty severe, Heather, to the point where people are, I mean, fortunately for you and I, we didn't end up in the ER because we were having, that too many of that, but too much of that. But some people do. And they usually, think that they're a psych case versus the fact that they could be toxic. Some other symptoms that you may consider are anxiety and panic attacks. It is a very well-known thing in the health coaching field that when you are toxic, you're going to have anxiety issues and panic attacks, but it is not well known in the conventional medicine or even in the ER that you could be experiencing toxicity. The other things would be muscle tension or tightness, like just always feeling like you can't stretch out your muscles or cramping, and then pain going along with that. I had a lot of connective tissue pain and joint pain. And then the one that I feel like was probably one of the biggest ones was brain fog and difficulty concentrating when your toxin bucket's too high and you're trying to, especially when you're detoxing and don't have open drainage pathways and things like that, you can have an increase in your brain fog where you really truly feel like almost like you're getting dementia. It's a pretty scary feeling on that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize, and I think I'm understanding it better and better as time goes on, how the nervous system can negatively impact our ability to detox these toxins out.
Yep. So we're going to go through a little bit about the nervous system and what happens when you are having nervous system dysregulation and how that impacts the body. So the first one is everybody's probably heard of fight or flight, which is a state. It's a place that your nervous system is sitting in. And fight or flight is where you have a stressor, no matter what it is, because the nervous system can't really always decipher between you're getting a traffic ticket and somebody is breaking into your home. Your nervous system doesn't know. All it knows is that it needs to either go into fight mode or flight. And then there is another state which it too much to go into, but you can also freeze where you're not really fighting or fleeing, you're freezing. And what happens in that state is the body has to prioritize survival, which means things that aren't part of being as surviving get shut down. So those would be like reproductive system, which gets shut down. Your motility in your GI tract would get shut down. So if your nervous system is dysregulated and on fire, you're going to have struggles with those things. You're going to also have struggles with healing. I know when Heather and I've gone through our healing journey, we've had to really peel away and take things off our plate when we were in the deeper detox and healing periods because we weren't able to heal when we were in the busy, busy, do, fight or flight, grind it out mode. So the fight or flight is not the place you want to be when you're trying to detoxify.
Right. No, thanks, Bobby. I like the explanation. And I think this is really interesting. When you're in a fight or flight, your body can't produce as much bile, and there's not good bile flow. And the bile flow is just so critical to eliminate toxins through the liver and gallbladder. You have to be in that rest and digest, that parasympathetic mode to heal and to have good bile flow and to have good liver function. So when we're in fight or flight, our liver functions decreased. We have higher stress hormones like cortisol, and that impairs phase one and phase two liver detox pathways. So um, it's just really interesting to me how this all goes hand in hand. If we're in that fight or flight, it's really impairing our body's ability to do what it needs to do to get well.
And that pairs with what's called your lymphatic system, which, if you don't understand what that is, we all know about our blood vessels and that delivers blood to our tissues. But the lymphatic system is our cleaner, it's our garbage waste, and it's the vessels that are cleaning up the waste that, from maybe having COVID or something like that, or maybe from some pharmaceuticals that you had taken in, or alcohol or whatever. And when the body is not able to flow and that lymphatic system isn't flowing nicely, the waste builds up. And so if you're detoxifying, let's say you're doing something to pull toxins out of your body, you're doing a fast, you're doing a cleanse or something like that, but your lymphatic system is plugged. It's like trying to clean the bathtub without taking out the plug and run the water. It's just getting dirty and dirty, more dirty. And it also impacts like your breath and your digestion and even your emotions. Your nervous system really notices that your body is struggling when it's too full of junk.
Thanks. Yeah, I've learned so much about the lymphatic system. Even the longer I'm finishing up the journey, it sort of blows my mind. Um, Another last thing that we're going to talk about is that when we're in fight or flight, and Bobby alluded to it before, it slows down digestive motility. But that motility is critical. The vagus nerve can be negatively impacted by toxins and trauma, and that leads to constipation or sluggish bowels. So the bowels are that first critical pathway for drainage and for toxins to leave. So, us being in fight or flight is going to negatively impact our bowels and our digestion and can be part of why people have constipation. And part of that can be due to vagal nerve impairment or nervous system dysregulation. But it's different, right, for each person what the root is. And there's often more than one root than just nervous system dysregulation.
Oh, 100%. But don't you think it's funny when we tell our clients, like, oh, you have constipation? Well, let's work on, massaging your belly and getting calm and finding space, white space, I call it, in your day, and making sure that you have some downtime. And they kind of look at you like, what are you talking about? What does that have to do with how much I go to the bathroom? And it's like, it has a lot to do with how you go to the bathroom.
Well,
So,
it's Yeah, it's been crazy because I'm experiencing that right now with, getting this unwanted bug in my system that impaired my digestive motility. Um, and I'm doing all the things I learned as a coach, nervous system work and vagal nerve work, and just all the things I haven't had to do to that level for a very long time. But I'm doing those things, massaging the belly and all the things we're talking about.
breathing, breath work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got some practical ways that are free, actually. So we're not going to tell you something that you have to go buy or, order on your computer or Amazon, but we've got some practical tips. And one of the tips that we wanted to share with you is something called grounding. And you may have heard of it, but you don't necessarily know what it is. But it's getting outside. Typically, that would be the best way. Get outside, get into either the grass or on like a patio or a driveway or someplace in the sand or the dirt, someplace where you can get your feet potentially. I know a lot of people don't necessarily want to be outside barefoot, but it is summertime, at least in the US it is. And that's where you're going to be able to spend about 5 or 10 minutes, and it's a calming, energetic exchange between the ground and your body, and it helps you discharge a lot of the electricity and energy that's in your system that needs to find a home because it's vibrating and it's like, I need to find a home. I need to find a home. Touching a tree, sitting under a tree, amazing the interconnection of nature with our body. So grounding is one great way to do that. There's grounding sheets. There's all kinds of things, but the freest thing you can do is get outside and ground and get the morning sun on your eyes would be excellent too.
Yeah, yeah. Breath work is amazing. I'm just going to talk about one type of breath work, but there's so many different things you can do. I started at the very beginning of my journey doing actually a box breath where you breathe in for the count of four through your nose, and you would hold it for a count of four, and then you exhale for a count of four, and you just keep going in this square, a box breath. But you can do other things where you breathe in for a count of four and exhale for a count of seven. You can switch it up. You can probably find videos online on YouTube. You can listen to people walking you through this on an audio or through an app. But I remember I was so nervous system dysregulated, just doing, 5 to 10 breaths like that. I could just feel my nervous system start to calm doing the breath work. But with the nervous system work, it's a muscle that we've got to work that we need to keep practicing and using on a daily basis. So if we're gonna challenge you to pick one of these, or more than one, but pick one to do every day and to do it daily or twice a day if you're suspecting there's nervous system dysregulation. And it may take a little while, but stay with it. You should start to see shifts over time. You may not see a shift the first time you do it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people abandon this type of work too early on. And it'd be like saying, okay, I lifted weights twice this week and I don't have guns. And it's like, no, it doesn't really work that way. You got to stay on the schedule. So the third thing we wanted to talk to you about is somatic exercises. And it's not exercises in the form of like getting your heart rate up and working out, but they're exercises for your nervous system and for you to connect back to your body. Because what happens a lot of times, one of the signs that your nervous system is dysregulated is the fact that you are disassociated from your body because you don't want to feel what's going on inside. So, somatic exercises are actually trying to reconnect the nervous system and your brain with how your body's feeling. And you can do that super simple just by literally standing up and shaking out, like jumping and shaking your arms and legs and hands and just shaking out your nervous system. If you've noticed, if you've ever gone to a swim meet, what are the swimmers doing right before they get in? They're jumping around behind the dot, the blocks. They're swinging their arms. They're shaking out the nervous system because they're so pent up, to get in the water and swim. Stretching is a great way to do nervous system somatic experiencing, and then just move any kind of movement. If you think about what we do when we pick up a baby, if you've ever held a little infant or a baby, what do we immediately start doing? We start swaying, right? We go back and forth and sway back and forth and we shake them and we do all this little tiny dancing around and that kind of stuff. That's nervous system regulation. You probably didn't even know that you were doing that. You can definitely, like Heather said, breathing. And what I always try to explain to people is the breath needs to go down. And so it's not breathing up in this upper quarter of your lungs, but to go down. So you're pressing that diaphragm that's right at below your sternum down into your abdominal cavity, which pushes out your lower belly. So that's your kind of your in the beginning when you're learning breath work, you need to put your hand on your belly and try to breathe down and push that belly out so that you're getting that deeper breath because that's stimulating the vagus nerve, which Heather mentioned is our parasympathetic place we want to be, which is the rest, digest, relax, detox kind of place. So find something that you do that's soothing and being connected to your body. Where's the tension? Where is the swirling? Where is the cramp? Where is it that you're holding tension and work on working that out? You can just use visualization as you're breathing to do that.
Love it. I love the free stuff. We all can do the free stuff. The last one we're going to talk about, and this is called vagus nerve stimulation. A lot of people, like we said, vagus nerve can cause constipation. It can cause the vagus nerve runs like from the top of your neck all the way down the body and impacts so many organs. Very simple. You can hum, you can gargle, you can sing. I've been actually humming every day and tapping my vagus nerve a few times a day for just like a few minutes. They're actual devices that'll stimulate the vagus nerve, but we want to keep those things that you can do that are free, and will really help to start to tone that vagus nerve and help with your stress response.
So if you're working on your health, and you're missing the nervous system piece, we hope that today's live and educational information and our conversation, the root cause and resetting your body, you need to address the nervous system. So we really hope that you jump in and grab one of these tips and put it on your to-do list and keep it going consistently and see how you're doing. Give yourself at least 7 days to notice something, a shift in you, just more calm and that kind of thing. Pick an activity, and then, the nervous system is a muscle. It's just like any other thing in your body. You just have to be consistent at it and do it. And that way, it's already in the bank in your nervous system, and you have space in your nervous system when stress comes along. Because that's really what we're trying to help you with, is getting the stress reduction tips in place before you actually need to put them into action.
Yeah. Yeah, and a reminder, if you want our nervous system checklist PDF, put the word info in the comments. We will private message you, get your email, and send that out to you. And if any of you need more help on your health journey, let us know below or private message either of us, and we will send you info on how we can support you. Bobby, I haven't looked at the comments. Should I look at
It's
the
not,
comments?
I'm
See?
looking on my phone and I'm not able to pull up the comments. So it just shows
Okay.
you. So
We can always respond to comments when we get
yeah.
off get off the live.
Yeah, we're
Um,
sorry for missing all these juicy questions, but thank you for joining us live. And we'll be
yes,
sure and make sure we get in touch with you, especially if you had a specific question.
yes, and please feel free to share this or tag a friend if you think they need to hear about the nervous system, some free things they can do, or how it impacts your ability to detox. Please feel free to share this, and we will be doing this again in 2 weeks. I forget what our topic is, but we do have another topic already planned for the next
Yep.
few months.
Yeah,
So we're
so if you know somebody that needs to plug into what we're offering, make sure that you'd let them know every other week. We have a live on Mondays at the same time for now. So thanks for joining us online, and we're looking forward to connecting with you. And check out navigatingmoldandsurge.com.
yes, then have a great week.
Yep. Bye, everybody.
All right, let me see.